It feels good to say, but Superman and Lois has finally returned with its 5th episode. And in that, we got a lot of new information about some of our favorite characters. A lot of great progressions are happening in this episode, from Jonathan and Jordan having their kind of brotherly thing going on, to Lana Lang, and some very, very dark secrets coming about what her husband has been up to in the past. And you even got Clark going through some stuff. He's dealing with everything with Bizarro. And we even have stuff about Lois. This episode is chock full of stuff, and I really want to talk about it, so let's just get into it. So I think we'll start things off by talking about the brothers. In this most recent episode, episode 5 of Superman and Lois, obviously we see a bit of a progression between Jonathan and Jordan. Jordan is obviously, you know, still going through his training. From what we know, if there's anything like the comics, you know, Jordan is training to become Superboy, which I think is going to definitely be a cool intro to the story. I think Clark is going to need his help at some point later on in the season. I would assume this might be something closer towards the season finale, but all in all, it's still really cool that this transformation is beginning. I've been waiting for Jordan to get more of a prevalent role in his superhero powers in the whole, you know, Superman and Lois show for a while, so it feels good that this is potentially starting to come into fruition, because you can't just give the boy powers and then have him never use them. Obviously, we know that he's going to tell his girlfriend at some point. I don't think he's going to tell her. I think he's going to slip, or she's just going to find out on her own at some point. But like I said, this is something that obviously the writers are working towards, you know, building up more of a Superboy role for him. So I think it's really cool. But what I wanted to start talking about with this particular dynamic is that Jonathan and Jordan obviously are very different. Jordan, you know, from what we know, is the only one that has powers, the only one that has manifested powers at this point. Now, it's not to say that Jonathan will never get powers, but at least for right now, that hasn't really been the case. And you can see this start to build up a little bit of resentment towards Jordan, as he's now getting all the attention from their grandpa, you know, getting trained secretly behind Lois and Clark's back to basically become this superhero. You know, when the time comes and Clark needs help or he needs someone to save him, then Jordan will come in and say, hey, I've been training, I'm really good with my powers, I know what I'm doing. And I think that's really cool that they're doing that. But like I said, obviously Jonathan is feeling a little bit of resentment towards this, and what no one else knows that we obviously know is that he's been taking some of that dope kryptonite stuff, and it's, you know, manifested some powers within him, and he's, you know, been using that obviously to be better in his sports team and get more, you know, get more play time and stuff like that. But obviously he decides to, for the first time, use it for other purposes, whereas before he was only using it to be competitive and stay in the game and stay on the top of his coach's radar. But now he's using it to be like Jordan, and I really feel like this is going to come to a very negative head at some point, you know, whether it be some sort of OD, or maybe he starts to lose control. Maybe he starts to have other side effects that he didn't anticipate. Eventually it's going to come out. We know how it is. It's going to come out, and I think his parents are going to flip. But at least for now, he decides to use it as a way to, you know, test Jordan's strength a little bit, you know, beats up on Jordan a little bit, which I thought was kind of interesting. And you know, Jordan wasn't ready for this, because he's like, bro, how did you get so strong? But all in all, he decides, you know, to tell Jordan towards the end of the episode that he has, you know, been manifesting powers. But I expected he was going to tell Jordan that he's been taking some of that stuff, but obviously he doesn't. So Jordan's left to believe that Jonathan is just naturally manifesting his powers, which is not the case. I'm sure it'll come out at some point, but that's pretty much everything that happened between the brothers. I really like how that, you know, this whole thing is playing out. I think we're getting closer to getting some sort of reveal about him using the stuff, and I think that's really gonna change the character dynamic for Jonathan, but we'll see how that plays out. So the next thing I want to talk about is Lana and her husband, who, you know, obviously there's a lot going on with these two characters. Nothing really progresses so much in terms of Lana's campaign. Obviously she's running for mayor against someone that, you know, everyone believes to be kind of corrupt and a crook, who will use any sort of means necessary to win this election. So a lot is on the line here, and towards the end of episode 4 we find out that her husband has had a secret affair with one of the local bartenders, and so that's starting to come out a little bit. And Yeah, it's very interesting how that's all playing out. I never expected that he would be the one with the dark secret. I always thought that there had to be something with Sarah, that Sarah was the one with some deep dark secret that could potentially expose the family, and that's what they lead you to believe in episode 4, that because she's, you know, I think it had something to do with her being an immigrant. Oh no, it had something to do with her potentially wanting to kill herself or trying a suicide attempt that could potentially come out and damage the family. But that's just another bait by the incredible writers of this season. We found out that that wasn't even the real secret. The real secret is that he was shagging with some other chick, and obviously that's starting to come out. She, you know, they have the quinceañera for Sarah, and during that she shows up, and you know, she shows up out back, and they have a conversation about everything that I guess someone else knows that they were having a secret affair while he was married, and they're, you know, potentially going to expose him. So that's kind of the big drama happening between them. But not only that, but Sarah and Jordan are both, you know, hanging around by the trucks and just so happen to hear this whole conversation, and this really disrupts things, as I didn't expect it to come out so quickly. I thought Sarah would hold on to it a little bit, maybe tell her dad, say, hey, you better figure this out, you better tell mom. And it just comes out all in the same episode, like all in the same, within the next 10 minutes, all of this comes out. And, you know, so now Lana knows that he was secretly hooking up with this other girl. And I think Lana as a character really handles it very well. She focuses on the daughter. This isn't something that I was expecting either. I thought there was going to be some huge, massive blow up, and this was going to result in, you know, the quinceañera being canceled. Maybe this really damages her campaign and stuff like that. But I guess none of that happened. It seems like she just handled it very well and was like, we'll deal with this later, but for right now, this is her time. And it made me really love Lana that much more. I love the way that she handled these things, and she's really has those, you know, higher class abilities, you know, working well under pressure and all that stuff that you would expect from someone that's running to be mayor. In typical CW fashion, this is something that we would expect, right? We would typically see the main character have this big blow up, have this big dramatic moment, maybe storm off, the whole family's in disarray. But Lana in this moment still focuses on the family, keeping the family together, and says, hey, you know, we're definitely gonna have a conversation about this, but not right now. And I think that was really cool. Now, what happens after this, my predictions, I'm not exactly sure. I think that this is probably going to come out, and it potentially could damage her campaign. I think in the end, you know, towards the end of the season, or whenever this whole campaign race comes to a close, I think she'll still win. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some unexpected incidents coming soon. And overall, you know, that's something that we'll definitely look out for. We're only 5 episodes in, but so far I really like how this dynamic is, you know, setting up. And now we get to what I feel to be the meat of the bones. I'm talking about more of Bizarro. The last 3 episodes have continued to build upon, you know, first finding out who Bizarro, that it was Bizarro, then finding out who Bizarro is, a little bit more about him, why he has this impact on Clark, why is he his opposite, and why is he on Earth. And now we find out a little bit more about his motivations, what he's looking to do, what he's looking to achieve. And I think this is some of the best moments in the entire show. Plus we get another fight between Superman and Bizarro. So yeah, like I said, this kind of connects Clark and Lois's story, as Lois is obviously dealing with the downfall of her not revealing everything to her partner. Her partner is also going and engaging with Allie Alston, who seems to be a major villain in this show, and I think that that's definitely gonna continue to grow. It all leads to them heading towards Allie Alston's office, finding, obviously, Lois finding her partner there, and Clark finding out that is who is the main target of Bizarro. Bizarro is, one of his main goals is to kill Allie Alston, because I guess in his world, or in his alternate reality, Allie Alston is a major villain. He needs to stop her. He, I guess, maybe couldn't stop her in his world, and now he's trying to stop her in this world. And I think that's rightfully so. If his Allie Alston is anything like the one that we've seen in the first 5 episodes, she's definitely shady. She definitely has some weird stuff, and she has another necklace. This necklace was passed down to her when she was younger, and she's held it ever since. I believe this to be different than the one that the general has, although there's obviously a connection there. So interested to see how that all plays out and what her true role is. There have been rumors that she could potentially turn into Parasite. or the Arrowverse's version of Parasite, which will be an interesting turn of events. Not sure how or if that's going to play out, but that's definitely a possibility at this point. But yeah, Bizarro continues to be a main focal point of this season, obviously finding out his motivations, what he's trying to achieve, and somehow I guess Clark is going to have to try to protect Allie Austin from not only Bizarro, but also Lois. Lois is trying to go after Allie Austin too. Bizarro's trying to kill her. So I think this is really all gonna come out in a very big way within, I would predict, the next couple of episodes. And then we get on to what I believe to be one of the better fights that they've had. They fought about 2 times previously. Or 3 times previously from what I can remember, and this is like the 4th or 5th time that these two have gone at it. Clark figures out during the fight that he is his opposite, so what affects Clark in a positive way is going to affect him in a negative way, which is very interesting. So, you know, obviously he's able to imprison Bizarro and translate, you know, I guess he's able to translate a little bit what Bizarro is trying to do. Bizarro is obviously trying to, like I said, kill Allie Austin. But he says that it is in an effort to, you know, save his planet as well as Superman's. So that's very interesting. That was kind of the big reveal that happened in this episode. Finding out what his true motivations are, why he wants to kill Allie Austin, I think is yet to be determined. But we probably will find this out in the next episode. Maybe they'll work together to do this, or, you know, obviously like Clark is against killing, so if that's what Bizarro wants to do, then Clark is going to try to find another way, which is going to lead to some friction between these two. And yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Not sure how all that's going to play out, but I'm very interested to see. Overall, I like to think that this was a very strong episode, had some really good components in it, and I think progresses the story in a very positive way. One of the things that I love the most about Superman and Lois is how the writing feels very progressive. It feels like everything is happening for a reason. There has yet to be in the first 5 episodes any sort of major filler, and even when you get into some of the high school incidents, you know, surrounding Jonathan wanting to be be better in the football team, or it's about Jordan and his relationship with Sarah, like even those incidents and those scenes that they have together feel important because these two characters are vital to the show. And so everything that's going on with Lois and her business and Clark somehow fluidly connects with one another and is able to create what feels like a very busy episode, but not so busy that you can't keep together what is happening with who. I think they've been doing a great job with it. The first 5 episodes have been an absolute banger, and if you guys want me to continue doing weekly reviews or discussions about the episodes of Superman and Lois, a show that I really love and have been enjoying, please leave a comment down below, drop a like on this video, as it greatly helps the video get discovered by more people. I really enjoy these reaction discussion videos after watching the episodes, and I hope to continue to do them more. Like I said, drop a comment, let me know what you thought about the first 5 episodes, or this episode in particular, and where you think this is going to go next week. But until then, I hope you guys are safe. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.